My name is Leila, currently 39 years old. I work as a researcher for a pharmaceutical company. My husband Ted is the same age as mine. We were college classmates and got married at the age of 27. We have no children. Our relationship was strained by the fact that we did not have children for a long time. For a while, after we got married, we were comfortable with each other as an extension of our relationship. However, when I got 29, which was our second year after marriage, things started to get a little weird. It started with a Christmas card from my in-laws. "Have you had children yet?" It was written in my mother-in-law's handwriting. She meant it's a gift, so she'll be happy if we have a child someday, right? I told my husband. "Well, I'd like to have one soon," he replied. "Well, if you want to have a child, that's what we should do." But my husband started to repeat that he wanted to have a child because of what my parents-in-law said. Then my parents-in-law started asking if we wanted to have a child, not only in the form of Christmas cards, but also in our faces every time we met. And that's not all. They make me sign up for a gym 5 times a week to build a body that will help me conceive. No caffeine, all food should be organic. Everything in our house was thrown in the trash by them. Moreover, they sent us many childbearing figurines that were made by Native Americans in Sedona, and baobab tree objects, and all sorts of things every month. To top it all off, they brought a pregnant woman to my house out of the blue and told me to be blessed by her. It was the beginning of the act of superstition for good luck, and that we are in trouble. Then, in our 4th year of our marriage, by the time I turned 31, both my husband and parents-in-law began to get impatient, and their superstitious act became even more heated. And they started calling me on the phone saying, "Hey Layla, you go to the gym every day, don't you?" I responded to my in-laws in a reasonable manner and I tried to cover it up. But in reality, although I tried, it was impossible for me to go to the gym every day. It interfered with my work, so I stopped going. And every year, angry words on their Christmas cards saying that they want to see their grandchildren. And also keep sending me good luck objects for conceiving a child, saying they couldn't wait anymore. Because of this, my husband even said, "Is your womb possessed by the devil or something?" Possessed by the devil? How come? It's too much nonsense. "Don't be silly. I'm having my period every month," I said to him. "But if that's the case, then menstruation is just a waste of time. I can't help but think it's the work of the devil possessed to your womb, consuming pain every month." My husband was very serious. At this point, I had no choice but to start fertility treatment. I heard that if infertility treatment reveals either the husband or wife is the cause of the problem, many couples forego infertility treatment because it can't cause marital discord. But in our case, even before we started treatment, we have been having problems because of my parents-in-law. So, infertility treatment was started to resolve that. Well, the results came back. And it wasn't something that could be solved by good luck. It was my sterile husband. But I'm not going to consider divorcing him because of it. I just thought it would stop all the acting out and accusations. But when my husband saw the test results, "But There are things in this world that science can't explain. The Nazca lines, you know. Infertility is always caused by the wife. He said like it should be the fact. Huh? So, I knew it was almost all your fault. Huh? What? Excuse me? I was speechless with surprise. If that's the case with my husband, I don't need to tell you that my in-laws, who believed in the superstitious thing, ignored the test results and didn't budge on their theory. If the test results were to come back true, I don't think there would be any ancient lore. My mother-in-law said the same thing my husband did. Furthermore, my father-in-law followed. It's an ancient belief that childlessness is caused by the wife. Some say because she wants a superior seed, the egg chooses the seed it accepts. So we're talking about the host of the womb. Layla, listen to your womb. And that's the end of the story. What's the point of the test? What the hell is the voice of the womb? It's just a once-a-month tummy ache. You've spent a lot of money on fertility treatment, ready to go through with it. But it didn't help our strained marriage at all. According to my husband's formula, my responsibility 1. I don't believe the superstition. My responsibility number 2. I have period every month. My responsibility number 3. I lack passion for wanting children. Husband's responsibility number 1. Only the result of the fertility test. Therefore, it seems that I am the cause of the infertility versus him. It is just too unfair. Wait a minute. The passion to have a child? No way. I do want it too. The fact that I went through fertility treatment proves that I want it. And the period, the thing that I'm responsible for? How is that my fault? I yelled at my husband. I'm just saying that if a woman doesn't want to get pregnant, it won't happen. Don't you get it? He said like I was saying something wrong. And science can be turned upside down if you have the desire to wish for it. Mr. Gordon next door, he was told he had 3 years to live, but he's still alive for more than 4 years. You work for a pharmaceutical company, but you don't even know that. He started to say such a thing to me. This really pissed me off. I'm doing research for a pharmaceutical company to cure people's headache. The current drugs have a high risk of damaging the gastrointestinal tract. I'm trying to improve it. But when such noble research is neglected, I felt like my pride in my work, and by extension, my humanity, was being denied. In the meantime, he nagged me. There's no point in living with a woman who has no desire to have children. I guess this is some kind of karma that is preventing me from having children, and so on. And my parents-in-law also said to me, if you have the bad luck of not being able to have children, we should not allow you to marry our son. This is beyond the level of good luck or bad luck. Because my in-laws are like that, my husband's feelings started to drift away again. And it was a negative spiral. Before I knew it, my husband was coming home late. And the number of days he was away from home on weekends also increased. Then one day, my husband said, I want to talk to you. I knew you were the cause of our infertility. While I thought, what's the point now? I also had a vague idea of what was to come. The way my husband looked at me had changed. And then he began to talk about what I had expected. Since you didn't have the desire to have a baby, my feelings for you had gone already. And as a reaction to that, I hooked up with a girl who came into the office as a temp. Her feelings for me were stronger than yours. And guess what? She got pregnant. So, I'll take a girl with stronger feelings for me. I'll be with her and answer to her feelings. Wow, is that so? Cool. I could only reply that way because I didn't listen to him seriously. Pregnant because of a strong feeling? How is that possible? I was like, well, congratulations, maybe? I don't know. But having a child with a woman you cheated on your wife with is absolutely wrong in the eyes of the world. I'm going to get my alimony, so be prepared for it, I told him. In response, my husband said, you are evil. I could smell infertility in the air. If you had been as devoted as she was to me, I don't think it would have ended like this. I hope you will carry that evil possessed in your womb and get the hell out of my life. He spit it on, and then, I'll move into my love nest with her. So, at best you can stay here in this house and be alone. And he left the house. Be alone? Sure, I'll enjoy being alone. What a joy! I no longer had any feelings for my husband because it's been proven that the husband is the cause of infertility. I don't want him to blame me for my lack of passion or for being possessed by something. I can't stand the thought of being accused of the cause of infertility. I felt a sense of relief that my life of being falsely accused and looked down upon every day was over. And all I felt was relief. Hey, I have another woman now, and will have a baby. I listened beside my husband as he gleefully called his in-laws. He was so confident that he was on speaker mode. Well, congratulations! I knew there was a difference between passion and a desire for a child. You should think you were free from bad luck. My mother-in-law was also in frenzy, blaming me alone for her misfortune of not having grandchildren. Within a few days, my husband was gone in high spirits to his new lover. The next day, I mailed the result of my husband's fertility test to his in-laws' house as a final gift. Now, a few years later, I was having a cup of tea in my shiny room after cleaning up on Saturday morning. I put some nice chocolate on the table. I was enjoying the most refreshing time of my life. And then the phone rang. I don't socialize much, so it's rare for my phone to ring on such a lazy afternoon. Who is it? I looked at the screen and saw it was my ex-mother-in-law. What is it? I answered the phone anyway. Please help me! I heard a shrill voice. I don't know what's going on. I was silent and my ex-mother-in-law continued as if she had lost her mind. That baby is definitely not my son's because she has darker skin and looks different from us. I pulled out my tea with a whoosh. Of course, she isn't. I was trying to tell them that the baby was definitely not my ex-husband's. So I sent my in-laws a copy of the test result. But it's funny how obvious the results showed its truth. There's nothing I can do to help. We're already divorced, I told her so coldly. Don't be so cold. It's fate that you became our daughter-in-law, isn't it? What kind of fate? I could have ignored her, but I wanted to see firsthand how confused my mother-in-law was. I decided to visit them the next day. I also had some things to say to them. When I visit the house, I found my ex-parents-in-law, my ex-husband, and his new wife. She wouldn't even look me in the eye. That's because when I divorced him, I took alimony from her too. They called her Scarlett, so I kind of knew her name. Well, maybe she's one of the cute ones. As soon as I arrived, my ex-mother-in-law said, "She gave birth to a baby, and it's a stranger's baby." She puffed up her nose and screamed, "We did everything we could do to help you have a healthy baby." My ex-mother-in-law is furious. "I didn't ask you to do anything. You just did everything on your own." She's no slouch either. "Stop it! Just stop! Both of you! It's obvious that the baby is not my son's." And my ex-father-in-law intervened. "It's funny that I'm here. I'm not involved in this at all. By the way, why am I being called here? It's also obvious that the baby is definitely not mine." I laughed at them. "I called you because it's money related, and you are the source of the cause of everything." My ex-mother-in-law made a loud accusation against me. "That's right. It's because you ripped off the alimony." She, too, turned her anger on me, and she turned her face to her husband. "This man lied to me when we started dating, saying he was paid twice as much as he made in a month. I would never have married him if he paid so little," she said out loud. "Me too. I wouldn't want to raise a child that is not mine. All you care about is money, money only." And my ex-husband was furious. "And the only reason this happened is because you, Layla. You took all the alimony." He threw his nonsense at me again. I laughed at his words instead. "If the cause of your disagreement is my alimony, what is the cause of your having to pay the alimony?" Everyone except me is stiffening up, shrinking back as if they've been hit where it hurts. "You were so blinded by young women that you overstated your income. And you were so blinded by money that you begged for the child you had with another man. Whatever you say, it all started with you, didn't you?" Everyone fell silent. My words broke the silence. "So, whose child is it, after all? For you, money is no longer an option, right? Why don't you just tell us?" I urged her, and she said, "Someone I met at a bar. I only met him once." She matched in a small voice. "So you get pregnant from a one-night stand. However, it's not cheating if you don't know who he is. Layla had the bad luck to crush any chance, but this new wife has the bad luck to bring any kinds of luck. She's also a trash. You were the one who wanted the kid and took the liberty of having one." The ex-mother-in-law and the new wife started a war of attrition. So I decided to destroy them all at once. "You guys were trying to bring good luck, weren't you? And you, Ted? You said if you have enough passion, you can do anything what science can't, right?" I say with a laugh. "Then pray for this baby to have lighter hair and lighter skin like you. And you have to do is have faith, isn't it right? Or rather, this child is nothing but a beautiful thing to me. How can you all behave in such a horrible way in front of this baby who has just came into this world? Just then, my phone rang. It was him, just like we planned. Yeah, okay. You can come in now.
What? Who's there?
My ex-husband and in-laws all looked at me suspiciously. Eventually, I heard footsteps approaching and the doorbell rang. I opened the door and saw the tall man standing there.
Layla, I'm here to pick you up.
Thank you, honey.
Are you okay? I'm sorry, I was out of the house for surgery yesterday.
I introduced the man to all. This is my new husband, Ryan.
Hello, everyone.
What the? Yes, I had remarried. He's a doctor that I met at work. He's tall and well paid. He's a lady first, a very kind man. Well, there's nothing the guys there can't beat. So, goodbye everyone. You told me to live alone, but as you can see, I'm not lonely anymore. I say sarcastically, and Ryan beside me said,
I'll protect Layla, no matter what.
Then my ex-husband, who didn't understand the situation,
Huh? No. How come?
He says something incomprehensible. He must have really lost his mind in the confusion of the situation.
How's that possible? Layla told me.
My husband interjected.
It's okay to ask for good luck, if it's just to increase the possibilities a little. But it's not good to use good luck to bring others down. You can't use good luck to be happy to make others unhappy. And don't say it's the person's fault based on that.
Then my ex-husband, whose mouth had remained open until then, he brought up his own theory again without any evidence.
Well then, why is it that Mr. Gordon next door is living longer than his declared life expectancy? I thought Mr. Gordon had nothing to do with it. It's a standard practice to give a short life expectancy so that the patient can spend the rest of his life with no regrets. Doctors would never say that they would surely die within that period of time.
Ryan said and continued,
I will never let you people near Layla again. All you bring her is unhappiness.
And left the house with me. After that, my ex-husband continued to email me for a while. He was running out of money and wanted me to help him with the alimony, even if it was just a little. According to the story, his new wife, Scarlett, eventually left the house without the child. I guess she gave up on her money-challenged ex-husband and drifted off somewhere far away. The ex-husband is now living with his in-laws, with the child Scarlett left behind.
He would deserve it. There's no way I'm going to help him. I just hope the baby grows up safely and happily. Layla, I went to the jewelry store today.
My husband handed me a beautifully wrapped box. When I opened it, I found a necklace that I had wanted for a long time. To be honest, it was a little too cute for me, but more than anything, it made me happy to see my husband's thoughtfulness. Thank you, honey. I'm so happy. But is today our anniversary or something?
No, I'm just happy to spend every day with you. This is my gratitude to you.
Oh, honey, thank you. I am so lucky to have you. I would be happy with him for the rest of my life. I thought quietly to myself and smiled back at them.
Let's make more noise today. If you are in this group, all my friends know each other. You are always calling more people during the home party, aren't you? Please don't do that, seriously? Wait a minute. If you invite any more people, there's no place to sleep. This room is a large apartment, so it's available to stay a certain number of people. But as I expected, if there were more people, there would be no room for everyone to sleep together. Then my husband made an unacceptable statement. Then why don't you sleep in the kitchen? My name is Naomi, a 27 years old housewife. I have been married to my husband Ken for 2 years. I met my husband at work. He was 2 years older than me, a reliable boss, sociable, and popular among everyone. I was a rather reserved type of person, so I was surprised when he asked me out to dinner. However, as we went out on several dates and started dating, I learned that he was a gentlemanly and he was surprisingly quiet and calm. I was crazy about him. I also found out that he was unexpectedly family-oriented. Let's have a date at my place today, he said. He invited me to his house and served me home-cooked meals, which he cooked easily and quickly. All of them were delicious. I had an image of Ken as a flashier guy, always dining at the restaurant with a night view or something. No, I have a simple personality. I'm just pretending to be a fun-loving, easygoing guy so my coworkers can easily rely on me. I see. I was very happy to find out that he actually has a similar personality to mine. Then we continued dating and got married. All my other colleagues were surprised at how an unexpected couple we were. I resigned from the company upon our marriage. My husband asked me to stay home, so I quit my work. After that, I'm sure I would support my husband and did my best at chores. I made lunch boxes for him every day and also put a lot of effort into making elaborate dinners. My husband was happy to have dinner at home, saying it was delicious. But he had more drinking parties than I had imagined. Whenever my husband calls me to tell me that he's sorry and he doesn't need to have dinner tonight, I feel sad as I'm working hard to prepare dinner. I knew that he was popular and often went out drinking with his coworkers, so I knew that it would happen. I did not expect him to go out drinking at the same pace after we got married. I couldn't stand it any longer, and one day I complained to my husband. Well, sometimes I want to spend the time with you on weekends too. My husband always drinks late on Friday night, returning home after midnight or in the morning, and then sleeps all through Saturday because he is hungover. On Sunday, he's either out with friends or getting ready for work, so we hardly get any time together as a couple. When I complained like that, my husband awkwardly said that you're right and made a suggestion. Maybe from now on, I would invite friends and colleagues over to our house for a drink at home. That way, we could save money too. No, that's not what I mean. But my husband seems to have convinced himself and said happily, It would let Naomi get along with my friends, and you could see your former colleagues again. I really wanted some time together, but it was still better than going out for drinks and not seeing his face. After all, almost every weekend my husband brought his friends and colleagues over to our house for drinks. Naomi, you're out of beer. Can you make me some dessert or something? I want to have a buffet. My husband's friends and ex-colleagues would ask me for anything that they wanted without hesitation. They treat me as if I were a waiter at a dining bar. Some of my husband's friends were women, but they were the most selfish and annoyed me. They never helped me. The riotous drinking party at our house every weekend were really hard to prepare drinks and snacks. I was truly at my physical limit with no time to rest. But my husband did not notice my condition at all. On the contrary, he invites people to stay at our house, saying that everyone should stay over without worrying about it. And they stay as they want without hesitation and make noise until late at night. Moreover, they get up around noon and try to make me serve meals, saying they want something they can eat even if they are hungover. So my weekends ends up with no rest at all because of this. Even when I'm around with my husband, I'm busy cooking and cleaning up, and he's talking all the time with the people he has invited to the house. He never come over to me or look at me. But if I complain about this situation, he would get angry and go out for a drink instead of staying at home. I was wondering what to do when I found out that I was pregnant. When I told my husband, he was deeply moved and happy. "I'm going to be your father too, so let's announce it to everyone and celebrate." No, I don't think so. Without even talking about it to me, my husband started announcing it all at once on social media. Then he said that everyone was going to congratulate me, and then he made a surprising comment. "We'll invite them over for the weekend to celebrate." What? My husband said that he invited all his friends immediately. On the weekend, all of his friends gathered at our house and began to make more noise than as usual. I accepted it anyway, thinking that it was a celebration and I was still in the early stage of pregnancy. It was okay to have them at least once, but my husband's friends came our house many times. I thought it was time for them to stop. It's hard to prepare for a big party when your health condition is not stable and the smell is too much for a pregnant woman. Moreover, some of them were smokers. They smoked normally without caring about me. Even though they went out to smoke at the balcony, it smelled like cigarette when they came back to the room. I wondered if I could safely give birth in such an environment. I felt I was in danger, so I decided to talk to my husband about it. I'm happy to celebrate with you, but honestly, it's time for you to stop inviting your friends to our house. Why not? Because I'm pregnant, I need to rest my body. But if I have to prepare for a drink party every week, it will be too much work. I'm not feeling well, and the smell of food, alcohol, and cigarettes are getting me sick. What the heck? I started to invite people because you asked for it. I asked you to cut down on drinking and make time for the two of us. I didn't ask you to invite them over our house. I did it for you, but you are against me? It's not like that, but if you're thinking of me, stop drinking at our house. Screw you. Then why didn't you tell me earlier? I've already asked them out for drinks at home this week. I can't say no to this one, so I will have a drinking party. What? It's the last time we're gonna have a drink, so it has to be grand. Prepare an exquisite meal. My husband would not listen to my opinion once he made up his mind, so I decided to accept it because it would be the last time. I prepared a large amount of food and cooked it, so it would be ready to eat when husbands arrived. I also ordered a beer online in advance, put them all in the fridge to keep them nice and cold when the husband arrived. This way, I wouldn't have to be involved in every step of the process. When the husbands arrived, I took them to the living room and asked them to take a seat and serve them beer. Then the party started, So I went to the bedroom and lay down on the bed to get away from the noise and smell. I closed my eyes, hoping the party would be end while I was sleeping. But within 10 minutes, I heard my husband calling me loudly. "Hey, Naomi, where are you? Bring me a beer and get to work." I dared to pretend not to hear him and keep staying in the bedroom. Then I heard footsteps loudly and the bedroom door open. I looked at the door in surprise. "What the hell are you doing here? Bring beer." It was my husband who opened the door. My heart almost stopped. What if it was someone else? I would never want anyone other than my husband in my bedroom. My husband stared at me with a scared look. "I put the beer in the fridge beforehand, so you can get pretty cold one. I'm sick from the pregnancy, so give me a break." Even when I told like that, my husband remained with a scared look. "Don't be silly. I told you I would do it last time. You're gonna do such a rough chore. You're my wife, and you have the duty to entertain everyone. Pregnancy is not a disease. Take care of the housework." What the heck? I fell out of love with him at once. I guess he wants to show off in front of his friends and colleagues that his wife is under his control. I also wondered the people who came over. They must be insane. I had no choice but to leave the bedroom and go to the living room where they were having a riotous drinking party. "You finally came! Hurry up and get me a beer!" I want them to go home soon, but I guess they will stay over here anyway. "Madam, you can't do that. You need to do the housework. As your husband is working hard, there are people who are pregnant and still do their chores. You guys don't understand how hard it is to be a pregnant woman. If you think so, be single forever." As I was pretending to care about them, my husband made me outrageous. "We're gonna make more noise today. Everyone here is my friends who know each other." He's always calling more people during the party. "Let's call more people." "Please don't do that." Wait a minute. If you invite more people, there will be no place to sleep. This room is a large apartment, so it is available to stay a certain number of people. But as I expected, if there were more people, there would be no room for everyone to sleep together. Then my husband made an unacceptable statement. "Why don't you sleep in the kitchen?" "What?" "If you do so, there will be room for one more person in the bedroom." "What are you talking about? I'm pregnant. What if I sleep in the kitchen and affect the baby?" "It would be okay if that happened once. You are ruining this fun time." "How can you do this? Why did I marry such a man?" "Madam, understand the situation." "Oh yes, everyone is having a good time. Friends attract like-minded people, huh?" Like my husband, these people are disgusting, and I can't take it anymore. If my husband would call someone, I should call a helper too. I thought it would be just one person, but he called 3 people. So we ran out of food. My husband ordered me to cook more dishes as soon as possible. I said, "I can't. We are running out of food." When I argued against him, he said, "So buy some right now." He accused me of not knowing how to do that. I pissed off, and I was thinking about what to say when the doorbell rang. Did my husband still call someone? "Did I call someone yet? Could it be someone's surprise?" He went to the entrance and opened the door with a grin on his face. "Why? Dad, Mom, and even sis, why are you guys here? The helpers I called were my in-laws. Kim, what are you doing? How come are you having a drinking party every week at home with Naomi who is pregnant? What's more, you said that pregnancy isn't disease, and then you kept her working hard. What are you thinking? My parents-in-law and sister-in-law were all accusing my husband at once. No, it's not. When the people of my in-laws were mad and came into the living room, my husband's colleagues and friends were looking at them surprisingly. What's going on? Too many people. This is as big as relative gatherings. It's not like Naomi was always the only one who was responsible for cooking and cleaning up for a party with the many people, is it? Did anyone help her? My husband is silent and he can't say anything. My husband's colleagues and friends looked at him with a blank look with their eyes. Then my sister-in-law got angry. I've never met you before, but you're the worst. Are any of you married yet? Don't you have children? Do you know how hard it is to be pregnant? It's 100 times harder than you think. It's not just the moment when you actually give birth to a child, but it's already hard when you are having a large belly. And you feel sick and it lasts so long that you can't even smell the food you used to eat. And yet, there's no way you're smoking. Also, you make her serve food. Then my father-in-law opened his mouth after my sister-in-law. Perhaps you all came here because my son called you, but could you please leave today? I have something important to talk from now. As my daughter said earlier, I think normal person would be hesitant to visit the home with a pregnant woman and make a big noisy drinking party. And normal people with common sense wouldn't do such a thing. My father-in-law said this quietly. So my husband's co-workers and friend began preparing to leave. They looked uncomfortable and left the house. After all, there were only my husband, my in-laws, and me. Ken, explain to me what's going on. Why can you do such a terrible thing? Don't you care about Naomi? What you're doing would kill your own child. If you are responsible for the loss of your child, would you be able to take responsibility for it? Why don't you think about something other than yourself? You're always flirtatious and self-centered like a child. You don't do that anymore. My father-in-law and sister-in-law blame my husband. My husband has not wanted to go back to his parents' house since the beginning of our marriage. Even if we showed up at the New Year, he would just say hello because he was busy and would not stay over or even have dinner with them. I knew that my husband's parents were very nice people, so I secretly contacted and met with them on my own since my husband did not want to see them. So I'm good friends with my in-laws, and I think I get along with them better than my husband. Witnessing the relentless attacks on my husband by his family this time, I now understand why my husband doesn't want to go back to his parents' house. He must have always been lectured like this. After that, my husband was scolded by his family for about 3 hours, so he was very depressed. Seeing him like that, I felt refreshed. You hurry up and apologize to Naomi for everything you have done. That's right. You must show your apology. My husband apologized to me seriously. Oh, Naomi, I'm sorry for all the trouble I've caused you by being so selfish. Please forgive me. Well, Naomi, do you forgive this jerk? My sister-in-law asks me that way. I smiled at her and said, No, I can't do it anymore. I will never forgive him. When I said that, my husband looked up and looked very sad. Oh no, I've already apologized so much to you. Because after all you want is a convenient wife who does chores and listens to everything you say. Then you don't need me. I want to marry a man who will love me and take good care of me. So please divorce me. Divorce. My husband became impatient at the words divorce. He rebelled against it, but his family stopped him. If Naomi says she can't do it, you can't do it anymore. Give it up. Now, you know you've done something you can't take back, so take this opportunity to reflect. I'm sorry, Naomi. We'll take care about this idiot, so you can spend your time here without worries. If you don't feel comfortable here, you can go back to your parents' house. We will be responsible for taking you back then. Thank you very much, Mike. Thus, thank you to my in-laws, I was able to defeat my husband and furthermore divorce him. I heard that my husband had been grumbling to the end. He was indeed not able to win 3-1, so he signed the divorce papers. He will pay me child support. I had my parents-in-law and sister-in-law help me pack my belongings and return to my parents' house. Even then, my in-laws politely greeted and apologized to my parents, and my parents felt sorry for them. After that, my husband was seen as an unfortunate guy who was abandoned by his family and his wife, and apparently people around him disappeared at once. And I have someone at my ex-husband's workplace who was good friend with me, but not the colleagues that my ex-husband had brought with him. The person told me that all of the ex-husband colleagues were having affairs, were cheating on the side business, or were being punished and fired by the company for garbage reasons and many other things. They had been fired from their jobs for some scandalous reasons. It was a moment I realized we were attracted to each other because of our similarities. I would take my ex-husband and those who are connected to him as a bad example of how not to behave and live my life with integrity and humility. Later, I gave birth to a baby girl without problems. At that time, I invited all my ex-in-laws except my ex-husband to my parents' house to meet my daughter. They were all very happy to see me and adored my daughter. I wonder how lousy person grew up even from such wonderful people. I will cherish my relationship with my ex-in-laws except for my ex-husband. And most of all, I will work hard to raise my daughter, my treasured daughter. How dare her husband to say that the pregnant wife to sleep in the kitchen? How crazy is he? I'm so glad that her ex-in-laws are not insane. Naomi, I hope you will do your best as a single mother from now on. I hope her future life is happy. Thank you for watching to the end. Please subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.